Hello, 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 everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Oh, Texas Brat number one. Good evening, PG. Much love. God bless. Summer's Army. Mods in chat. For everyone in chat. Oh, that is so beautiful. Prayers for everyone. God bless. You are number one tonight, girl. Number one. Good to see you. Oh, we're going to start out with Miss Candy Cane, right? Old Candy Cane is in the house. There you go. Uh, yeah. That's the thing about Summer's case, right? Cover Sebastian's case, you really got nobody. Cover Summer's case, wow, it really draws in the flies, right? Really draws in the flies. Um, I don't know, you guys. I don't know. That's kind of weird, right? Kind of weird. Um, oh, tonight Chrissy's Corner for Collectors is in here. God bless. Hi all. Hello, hello, hello to you. Hello to you. Good evening. You are number two. Number two. Absolutely. And D, you are number three. Hey, PG and chat. Hello, 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 sweetie. Good to see y'all. And number four, it is what it is. Aw, that is so sweet. PG, much love to you. Much love to you, hon. God bless. Um, how you doing, Wonder Woman? Don, how you doing, sweetie? Miss Justice 101. Wait a minute. Miss Justice 1111. I got that wrong tonight. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. PG, much love to you, sweetie. Um, our bucket list has holes. How you doing tonight? How you doing? Good to see you in here, Big ol' Mom. Good to see you. Uh, there's Solomon. How you doing, sweetie? Hello, PG. Much love back. Much love back, sweetie. Spread the love. Good to see you. Good to see you. Barbara, good to see you too. Let me get down through here, you guys. I'm trying to move down. Hey, Coco Pop, I see you. Says, hey, hey. Hey to you, girl. Hey to you. And Suzanne, how you doing? How you doing? 2 Cent, Robin, Lori. Let me get down. SL, good to see you, sweetie. Hoot there. And let me keep moving. Butterfly Kisses, how you doing, Patty Ponytail? Okay, thank goodness we're at the bottom. We're at the bottom, y'all. We finally made it. We made it to the bottom. Hello, welcome everyone coming in. I appreciate that. Our bucket list has holes. I appreciate that. Welcoming everyone in tonight. God bless. Um, a lot going on. A lot going on, right? Oh, so to do tell. Do tell, PG. Do tell. Well, um, there's a lot to do tell, right? Um, a whole lot to do tell. Hey, pink butterfly, how you doing? How you doing, sweetie? Um, for one, well, WB called Don's boss, right? Called Don's boss. Acting like it was creators who stirred the pot and got Don supposedly took him off his job permanently. No, that didn't happen. That did not happen. His boss did transfer him to a different job for a little while till things calmed down. Then he went back, but he was just put on a different job site, not that particular job site, for a little while. But he did not lose his job because of any creators. That's not true. That's not true. It was a lot more than that. Trust me, a lot more. Matter of fact, it wasn't that at all. It had to do with other things. So, you know, WB is lying again, right? Lying again. I don't know why, and I don't know. I don't understand. One thing I do understand is when Don and Candace are done with you, they're done with you, right? They're done with you. I do understand that. I mean, what I'm trying to say is when they were done, with Benny Keys, they were done, right? They were finished. Cam and Allie, they were finished. Don hobnobbed around with her a little bit longer than most. And I think that had a lot to do, with her dad, for one, and then some other things, right? And so, he did hobnob a little longer than usual. But finally, that went down the tubes for pretty much good. And, they pretty much, well, Dom really didn't ever have a whole lot to do, right, with another creator. And he's pretty much, completely dropped that bunch also. And White Boy as well. So, with it all being said, right, the only one really hanging around is Can, here and there, here and there. She's still trying to hang around to, get the last nickel, dimes, and pennies. I think that she can possibly maybe pull in the last rodeo. And but Don pretty much knows, he understands the ride's pretty much completely over, right? It's over. The supporters and all these things, the ride is over. And so and I think he's glad. I think he's glad because he wanted the ride to be over before it started, right? He wanted the ride to be over almost 3 years ago. He wanted to be over when it started, to be honest. It was, it was the money coming in and Candace getting all these people acting nice to try to get information. They knew what they were doing. Don and Candace was hip to it from day one. They knew how that stuff worked. Well, they've been doing it their whole lives, right? They've pretty much been doing it their whole lives. Don and Candace are old hands at being nice to people, right? Being nice to try to get information, being nice. These are the very, you can't play a player, right? You can't play a player. And because they were onto it from day one. And they were out to play. Let the best man win. And it seems like, when it came to, sucking these people in and, and basically, getting them to support them and so forth. I have to say, Don and Candace was packing an ace, right? They were packing an ace, no doubt in my mind. You couldn't talk to their supporters. You couldn't tell, you can't tell people. For some reason, when people start supporting the Wells, there's nothing you can say. Nothing you can say I mean, they will turn on you. These people would turn on you if if you tried to interfere. And then once they see how the Wells truly were and how, vicious they truly are, um, then the people get really angry, right? They get really upset. They feel, but they wouldn't listen. They wouldn't listen while you was trying to, warn them and tell them and lead them, away from it. They wouldn't listen. I mean, I guess, some people you can help and some people you can't, right? Some people you can help, some you can't. So what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of people with good hearts, right? There's a lot of people with really good hearts. And a lot of people, they haven't ever came up against people like the Wells before, right? These are just your average people out here in the world who think everybody's just like them, and they think that they can get information out of people, and like, I don't know, they seem to feel that the Wells are going to give them something that they ain't going to give nobody else. No, you have to understand criminal minded people. You have to be, educated in that field. You got to be educated in the field of criminal minds to understand what you're dealing with when you're dealing with the Wells. It's real hard, even for law enforcement, and they are professionals, right? They are professionals at it. But even law enforcement, could see that this is going to be a hard case from day one. They seen that Summer's case was going to be a very hard case from day one. And why? Because you had people who were willing to stick together, right? You had people, willing to stick together. You had these diehards, right? And when you're dealing with that type of situation, it's really hard. Sometimes you go somewhere with it, sometimes you don't, right? Sometimes, you get a breakthrough, sometimes you don't. I mean, it's like the toss of a coin. It's like the toss of a coin, you guys. I mean, that's how it is. That's how it is. Sometimes you don't get a break for years. Sometimes in cases like this, you don't get a break for years. It takes time. It takes time to get someone to fess up to, to put out information and fess up to some things that, they knew beforehand. And sometimes it takes years. Years. I've seen it. I've seen it many times. Now I understand that. Jody Sue's wanting to talk to Fred, right? Jody Sue's wanting to have a talk with Fred. White boy seems to be wanting to talk to Fred. Andy came up on panel to talk to Fred, right? Andy came on a panel to talk to Fred. It seems like a lot of people is wanting to talk to Fred. What are they wanting to tell Fred? What exactly do they want to tell Fred? I don't know. I don't know. I took note that Andy was pretty upset, right? He was pretty upset. He felt like Fred, being his cousin, kind of turning on him. I personally think that, I think that Fred is, I think Fred is getting warned, right? They're trying to warn Fred. They're trying to warn Fred. Whatever happened to Summer, I feel there's a lot more people involved than Don, Candace, Grandis. Hey, Kitchen and Pearls, how you doing? I feel there's a lot more people involved than just Donald, Candace, and Grandis. I feel that, I feel there is a leader somewhere in this. And I don't think it's Don Wells, to be honest with you. I don't think Don Wells is leading any of this. I think he is listening, right? He's listening. There's someone in the mix of all of this that, feels that they have more control and power, than the rest of the group. I do feel like I know who that person is, right? I do feel I know who that person is. I think you all probably know who that person is as well. But there's something definitely, there's something definitely shady in Summer's case. Something's real shady in Summer's case. You got too much games, too much cover up, too much nobody's really telling the truth. Like, okay, let's go back to day one. Okay, we'll go back to day one. Allie, Hunter, you could tell Allie was sitting on that porch sweating, right? She was sweating as Hunter talked. She wanted to control the conversation. She tried. She was trying to control that conversation, right? Hey Molly, how's it going, girl? How's it going? Molly's in the house. Yeah, and from day one, none of them, they all seemed to be scripted, right? Allie, we know Allie lied. Allie lied. She did not go to that car that day. She did not see Summer at all. She didn't bother to talk to Candace. She would have if she knew. I'm sure she would have went to that car if she knew what was going to come down later. I'm sure she'd have been at that car. But she wasn't at that car that day at all. Absolutely not, because she had no idea. She said that Summer was, in the back seat behind Candace, but Summer wasn't. Summer was, when Hunter got out of the car, Summer was behind Grandis laying on some milk jugs. So, Allie didn't see anything that day, but she act like she did. Why? You got to wonder, why did she act like she did? Was she protecting her son? Absolutely. Hunter, he also, was very scripted. These are criminal minded people, right? They have been raised to know what and what not to say, what to keep under your hat and not keep under your hat. Even the children in families like this learn very quickly, right? They learn very quickly, law enforcement is not your friend. That's what these, even the children in the household learn when it's a criminal household. you learn not to speak. You don't talk to teachers. You don't talk to this person. You don't talk to that person, right? You are definitely groomed. You're definitely groomed to know what, when, where, and how to say things. And what better off to say nothing if you can, if you don't have to, right? If you don't have to. And it's best to change up conversations, right? Or ask questions with questions. So, this is what is basically taught within in households as Owlies and the Wells, Andes, right? In most households of all these people surrounding this case. With that being said, Jody Sue also has implicated herself something fierce in this case, right? For somebody that just lived across the road, really, didn't know these people, she really has invested herself into Summer's case. Well, you don't invest yourself into a case of someone you really don't know, right? You don't come out like she has and feel a need to know everything about someone else's life that you really didn't know or have any idea, of how these people were. So we know that's a lie, right? We know that's a lie. We know that Jody Sue damn well knew the Wells. Yes, we do. We know that they had a lot more going on together than, meets the eye, right? Than they were trying to say. This is a group of people up there that stuck together like glue. And when everything came unglued, meaning Summer came up missing, when it all came unglued, these are people that, all of a sudden, I don't know you, right? I don't know you. It's the game they played. I don't know you, and I don't know him, and they don't know us. This is the game they played. Nobody knows anybody now, right? I mean, these are people making phone calls to one another anytime someone was in the area that, that wasn't what they felt was an outsider, like Mr. Dobbs. Mr. Dobbs says the first person I see is Dom Wells. Andy says no. The first person that Mr. Dobbs saw was Fred and my uncle. I don't think so. Mr. Dobbs should know who he saw first, right? He's the one that came in that holler before Andy even knew he was in there. I think Mr. Dobbs knows who he saw first when he came in there and who he talked to. And he said it was Don Wells, right? And the second people Mr. Dobbs seen and talked to was Andy and Jody Sue, who descended upon him shortly after Don Wells saw him. So that, that isn't no brainstorm, right? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out how Jody Sue and Andy figured out that this guy's down at the bottom of the hill. We don't have to be a rocket scientist. Good old friend, Donnie, right? Mr. Donnie Donald Wells called over there, right? He called over there and he said, hey, listen, there's some weird man in a big old truck, right? Down at the bottom of your property, letting his dog out, to relieve itself all over your land. What's going on with that? They said, what? He's like, yeah, he's down there right now. I'm standing on my hill looking at him. What the hell's up with that? What is he doing over there? I don't know, but we're about to find out. And Jody Sue, she's so weak. She's so weak she couldn't even, she says she's so weak she couldn't even flush the commode, right? She had to sit on a bucket, right? She had to sit on a bucket. Wasn't no flushing it. But she was able to fly down to the bottom of that hill and descend upon this man, right? Descend upon this man like, you know, within 3 to 4 seconds flat. What you doing here? She was able to chase him all over, right? She said Andy went up to the top of the hill to do something, and um to get the map lines of the property, right? The surveillance picture of the property line. And well, Andy goes to get this picture. I guess they got a picture hanging on the wall, right? Mapping out their property. I don't fucking know. That's kind of weird. I don't have a picture on my wall. I don't have a picture on my wall nowhere mapping out some property. That's, why the hell would you do that? I don't know. It has to be a Ben Hill Road thing, I guess. Everybody got a picture. Everybody got a picture on their wall. Oh, don't you cross this line. Don't you cross this line. You see this picture? Those are my lines. And you better not cross it. Yeah. Just show me the picture would make me not wanting to cross your line. If you keep a picture in your house with your property lines on it, I don't want to cross that line. Hell no. There's something wrong with you, right? There's something wrong with you. But yeah, I guess they keep a picture. And Andy went to get it. I'm surprised that, they didn't make copies of it and he didn't have one in his wallet. Here's a wallet size one. But he had to go up to the house to, get the big one. Get the big one down off the wall. According to Jody Sue. He had to go up there and get this big old picture, pack it down so the guy could see it. I guess they wanted it, they wanted it life size so you couldn't miss everything. But anyway, while Randy's up there getting this big old picture off the wall, Jody Sue's flying all over the property, right? Showing this guy the property up the hill, down the hill, side the hill, and over the hill, and and everything. But she's so fragile. Couldn't even flush a toilet, right? She has to get on a bucket. Couldn't clean that bucket up either. Sounds to me like, the bucket went into a barrel and the barrel is still there, along with about 50 more needing to be dumped somewhere. I don't know, man. This stuff don't sound right to me, right? This stuff don't sound right to me. But long story short, these people, you could tell these people were all one, right? They were all one. These people definitely were connected up there in Ben Hill. And, Donald don't go down the road to Fred's house. You don't go down the road and spend, half the night. You don't go down the road spending half the night on somebody's property when your kid comes up missing that you don't even know. What, really? What? You go down the road and you spend half the night on someone's property you don't know. That's bullshit. That's total bullshit, right? That's definitely bullshit. Do we have Jody Sue Brown in the back? Is that Jody Sue Brown? That's what it says. Supposedly Jody Sue Brown in the background, y'all. I don't know if it is or if it isn't. She seems to be brushing. She seems to be not blushing, but brushing. There she is, just brushing. I don't know. Hey, Jody Sue, you're brushing. If that's you, you're brushing. So I have to kick you and you have to try to come back with a new link. I guess the reception up there where she's at ain't that good, right, you guys? I guess the Wi-Fi there ain't the best, or else she ain't paying for the best. I don't know. You know, I'm not there, so I don't know. Right? I know I ain't paying it. Too damn busy paying for my own. Too busy paying for my own, right? So, there you go. It's not her PG, I don't think. I don't know. I don't know who it is. All I know is they brushing around. It says Jody Sue Brown. You know. If she like to, you know, she wants to come over and carry on, we'll let her. We'll let her. You know we let her. Yeah. But anyway, you know these people were all friends, right? They were all friends. Now, you know, we have white boy. We have white boy talking about, you know, he's talking about I have to move over here and get my paperwork, you guys. We got him talking about Don not having a job because of people. Well, that's BS. I'm about to prove that tonight too. I'm about to prove it. I got receipts. Right? I got receipts on that, you guys. And absolutely. I always have receipts. Matter of fact, I think I'll just pull that receipt out right now. I'll pull that receipt out right now for you guys. You guys can hear why Don Wells lost his job and why he's not getting it back, right? He's not getting it back. Tucker ain't going to ever hire him after this.
You said you had.
Where the f*** you get that shit from?
Don, you said you had videotapes of me.
What happened? What? What did you say, Betty? I have videotapes of Josh, apparently. What the f***?
I don't know why you're laughing. You're the one that said it.
Are you serious?
Don, you said.
How do you know that I said that? Why would I say that?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Number one, I don't lie, bitch. You can get that through your.
I don't.
Right
I mean, everybody lies.
Oh, Don doesn't lie. I'm afraid you do, Donald. I'm afraid you do. When you sit there and you can tell law enforcement where your daughter isn't, then you must know where she is. But when people ask you where she is, you say you don't know. That's a lie. That's a lie. Right? You lie all the time. You lie all the time. You tell people lies. And your old lady, your old lady, biggest liar I've ever seen. Biggest liar on the face of this earth. She can't even, she wouldn't know the truth. She wouldn't know the truth if it got in her face. She wouldn't know it. Because she does nothing but lie. Candace has a lot of issues She has trust issues because she cannot be trusted, right? All of her issues are surrounded by who she is. She knows how she is, and that's why she cannot be a true friend or anything to anyone else. She knows herself. She knows herself too good, right? Biggest liar I ever seen. Biggest. Now she sat there and said she must have been in the house when the scream occurred. Well, Grandma wasn't. Grandma was outside. Now, Donald, Candace, why did you want to act like forget about Grandma? Why does Donald say Candace was in the house? Candace says Donnie's supposed to be at work. And Donald says Candace was looking. Candace says, I called Donnie. He came home. Why do you two try to act like it was a me and Donnie thing and no Grandis? Grandis took out of there, and just because she took out of there and the smoke is still going up to this day, how fast she left, does not dissolve the fact that she was there on June 15th, 2021, when Summer Moon Utah Wells disappeared. She was not only there, but she was outside. She was outside of her camper where she could see and hear everything. And yet you and Donald want to act like this woman didn't exist. You want to act like she was not. You want to gaslight all these people by not talking about her. Well, not talking about her does not take away the fact that she was there, hearing and seeing and knowing everything. And there's no way someone came up on that property and done anything without Grandma seeing or hearing it, being right there at her camper. You cannot take that away. You cannot take the truth away from what went down on June 15, 2021. Now, Candace was not in no house at the time of a scream either, because the time of the scream was 4:30. Well, moved back to 4:30. It originally started at 4:47, 4:42, moved back to 4:30. To be honest with you, I do not believe there was a scream. Just saying. I'll tell you why I do not believe there ever was a scream. Because if there was a scream, Candace wouldn't have felt that she could call Jody Sue and say, hey, you need to move that scream to 5:30, 5:42, 5:47 in order to fit our agenda at the time Summer supposedly came up missing, because we didn't even call law enforcement until 6:30. And your scream and your time was off an hour. And you need to change that because it's not working for us. Right? Now you don't do that if there truly was a scream. There was no damn scream. At 4:30, 4:42, Candace, Grandis, and Summer was outside planting flowers. They were all outside planting flowers, getting ready to wash their hands. And Summer wouldn't even have got a piece of candy. She wouldn't even got a piece of candy till after 5 o'clock. It would have been more closer to 5:30 when she's getting a piece of candy. Right? If they really truly planted flowers and washed their hands, because they didn't even start till after 4 o'clock. They didn't even start. Grandma went in there, that camper, and took a nap. She wouldn't even have come back out till 4 o'clock or 4:30, right? More around 4:30. And Candace walked over and talked to her, right? Candace walked over and talked to her. Yes, she did. Hey, Bagel Mom, I appreciate that. Five, gifted 5 Prayer Garden of America memberships. Hey, girl, I so appreciate that. God bless. God bless. I definitely appreciate your support for Summer's channel. Ding, 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 ding. We just can't wear out that bell, right? We can't wear it out. PG's trying, but we can't do it. We can't do it. Maybe I will in the future. Maybe I will. At some point, that thing might not ring anymore. All right, but right now, baby, it's ringing. It's ringing, and I appreciate your support. God bless. God bless. Absolutely, absolutely, Molly. I so appreciate that. I so appreciate it. Bagel Mom, thank you so much for gifting those 5 memberships. It is very much appreciated, and I'm sure everyone who received one will enjoy them. Absolutely. God bless. Absolutely. She said, we are welcome. We are welcome. God bless. And that is a gift that we'll keep giving too. It would definitely keep giving. So appreciated. So appreciated. Welcome new members. SL, I appreciate that. Absolutely. Welcome to all the new members. Thanks to Bagel Mom for opening her heart and gifting those memberships. God bless. God bless. I appreciate that, Carrie. I appreciate it. Anyway, yeah. Hey, Sissy Frats, I'm bringing you up, hon. How you doing, girl?
Oh, I'm doing good. The planting the flowers and the washing the hands, well, I don't believe that they were planting flowers. I believe that they were planting summer. And that's just my opinion.
You know, and you're entitled to that. You are entitled to that. Absolutely, you're entitled to that. You know, I'm not sure what they not sure exactly what they did with summer, but in my opinion, they did something, yes. Something that was, you know, premeditated, pre-planned, and carried out June 15th, 2021. Now what that was and for what reason it was, you know, is the big question, right? That's the big question right there. What was it, and why? And why would you do it? Those are the big questions. There, you know, nobody does something for nothing. There had to be reason.
Well, my question is, what did Summer do? Okay, if they unalived her, what did Summer do to deserve to be unalived? I mean, this is a 12-year-old child.
She done.
And she couldn't have done.
She done the same thing. She done the same thing that every other innocent person does. That evil descends upon. She did the same thing that every other innocent person that evil descends upon did. It's called nothing. Nothing.
Exactly.
When it comes to evil, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do one thing to evil humans. Evil humans, they do evil because they love doing it. They love doing it. They get off on doing it, right? They love the high, the rush that it gives them when they're doing evil. And you don't have to do nothing to them. You have to, you know, you don't have to do one thing to them. Evil people do what they do because they feel they can. They feel they can. That's, that's just, what they do. Why am I blocked? I don't even know who you are. Hold on. If you want to shut your camera, you can. Go ahead. Who are you? Why am I blocked? Who are you, lady? I don't know. Your device got disconnected. I let you up on panel. We all seen you. I don't know. I was willing to talk about it, but your device, something happened to your device. I don't know. You want to come back, we'll discuss it. I didn't know I don't even know who you are. Right? I'm going to tell you. It's crazy. The jab, I appreciate that. Do you think maybe grandma left because she didn't want to be in the Wells BS and be forced to follow their ridiculous behavior? I think she left, to be honest. This is my opinion. I don't think that she left because she didn't want to be part of them, because she kept coming back to be part of them. She was always on the phone or up, I know when I was on the inside talking to these people, grandma was always up on some device. She was always setting up on some device, looking at everybody and talking, and you could hear her all the time, see her on these devices. If she wasn't on Candace's phone, she was on a tab. She ain't on the tab, she's on another phone. If she ain't on the other phone, then she's on a computer, right? I mean, this woman's like FaceTime freaking crazy, and constantly. She had a need to know everything like Jody Sue, only she didn't want to come out here. She didn't want to come out here like Jody Sue came out here, right? And to keep up with everything. She came out to the YouTube world to keep up with everything and to get support while she was doing it. But Grandis, didn't come out here to keep up with everything. She was behind the scenes hiding, needing to know every little detail, and still is. So with that being said, that that allows me to understand that grandma definitely didn't go away because of the Wells or the Wells BS. She went away because she's afraid. She went away because she wants all of this to go away, because it's something that it's something that packs a pretty heavy sentencing, right? This is something that will pack a really heavy sentencing if the truth was to come out. And she don't want to be nowhere around when that truth comes out, right? She don't want to be nowhere around when it comes out. Running away from it after it happens isn't going to keep you from being pulled back and being a part of it, because you was at the time it all went down. You were, you're what they call an accomplice, right? You're an accomplice to it all. So, or maybe more, we don't know, but definitely an accomplice, if nothing else. So therefore, running away isn't going to keep you from being implicated in it and sentenced if the truth was to be told. And I think I think you're messing with some low-minded people. What I'm saying is, are these people educated and the criminal field? Absolutely. Are these people educated in the manipulating gaslighting, smoke and mirrors, all this stuff. Absolutely. They're well educated in all these things. Of course, I mean, every corner of evil, they've been in it, right? They've been in it. So, no doubt in my mind that they're not educated there. But they are super uneducated when it comes to the law. They're super uneducated when it comes to, the law. The only education they have when it comes to the law is they don't want to face the law. They don't want to face up, if the truth comes out, they don't want to be around because these people think, have you ever seen someone that closes their eyes and think you can't see them? Yeah, well, that's the kind of people they are. That's the kind of person Grandis is. She's the type that she thinks that she closes her eyes, she can't be seen. And I'm sorry, but she is seen, and we all know she was there, and we all know that whatever went down, she's just as educated on it as Candace is. And yes, if the truth came out, she would be brought back to Tennessee, and yes, she would be prosecuted. And I'm sure she fears that very much. I'm sure she fears that very much. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't fear it? Absolutely, she does. That's my take on it. That's my take on it. Grandma was got sweet on one of the creators. She got sweet on one of the creators, right? And she told this particular creator all about how she took the nap and everything, and gave this creator a little bit of information that kind of brought a lot of things to light. It was like, oh, now we're understanding more more of what took place that day. Because if she would have took a nap, then that would have meant that the planting of flowers would have been delayed. It would have been delayed because they didn't even get back till after about 3:15 that day or more, closer to 3:30. By the time they packed in the groceries and everything, it would have been 3:30 or more. And then they, at that point, put things away and got something to eat, which would have thrown us up to 4 o'clock. And then Candace says she still was doing some laundry. Summer was on the floor playing. The boys were playing the game machines. So that's going to throw us up to closer to 4:30, at the time of the scream supposed to be. And the flowers hadn't even been planted. And Summer's still sitting inside the house on the floor. And Candace hasn't even come out to go talk to Grandis the first time, right? She hadn't even come out to go over and talk to Grandis the first time about planting the flowers, let alone, going back over to fix her knee brace. So, and Grandis, is sitting there saying, oh, all of these things happened. She's saying all these things happened. They couldn't have happened. They could, planting the flowers. If there was a scream and that scream was supposed to be Summer, then there would have been no planting of any flowers, right? So Grandma is an accomplice to whatever went down with Summer, because, if indeed it would have went down at 4:30, 4:42, 4:47, there's no way she could have been planting flowers. So this would mean that Candace and Grandis both know exactly what happened to Summer. It would put them there with the scream, and that would be the time frame of them both knowing something happened to her, because they're both lying about, because they're saying during this time they're planting flowers, washing their hands. And there's no way Candace could have been in the house at the time of the scream, No way she could have been in the house because they were still planting flowers at that time, washing their hands. They hadn't even got a piece of candy yet. So, you know, I think Grandis is scared. I think Grandis, has implicated herself. I think she has implicated herself into something, she probably shouldn't have. That's true. She shouldn't have. But I think she has, you know. Um, and I also took note that, Grandis was living up there on the Wells property, barely making it, right? Barely making it. Matter of fact, she went to the doctors that morning, trying to get some medication that she probably shouldn't have had. But I think she went to that doctor to try to get that medication to, not for herself, but to help, this is my opinion, but to help supplement her income, right? To supplement her income. And that's what I think, and she got real upset when she didn't get it, right? She got real upset when she didn't get it. But I did take note that once Summer came up missing, the Wells were out buying brand new phones, right? Like within like, I wouldn't even say 30 days. I wouldn't even say 30, but within 30 days, they done bought 4 brand new cell phones. They done bought some Ray-Ban glasses. I mean, they were really shopping and eating out all the time. And Donald used to stop at this one particular restaurant, right, where he just got some eggs and potatoes and coffee, right? But next thing you know, he's going to better restaurants, right? He's going to better restaurants now, getting his lunch and so he's spending some money, and I can say, well, okay, I could accommodate for his spending because there's a lot of people sending gift cards and cash apping and one thing and another, and that's giving them a little extra money to do some of these things they're doing. But then when Grandis takes off and she comes back in a new car, right? She got a new vehicle. She ain't having no problem staying all over the place, right? Traveling and staying places. And we all know how much it costs to travel, right? Just even if you got a place to stay, like you're going to stay with relatives when you get to your destination, it still costs us a lot to travel from state to state, right? What I'm saying is, when you travel, you got to pay for the gas, you got to buy food, grandma smokes, and you might have to be laid over, right? Laid over in a hotel for a day or two in different states to get into the one you're going to. So with, the layovers and all the things, and even if you don't have a layover, say you try to drive it straight through, you're still going to be out of some money. You're still going, it's costly. It's costly to take trips like this. And Grandis seemed to not only have the money to take those kind of trips, but had the money to go back into Tennessee, back out of Tennessee, over into, I understand that she was over in Georgia at a certain point staying. And then she was back over into Wisconsin. And, grandma's pretty much been all over the place, right? She's been all over the place. And she's got a new vehicle. And she don't seem to be having it rough like she did before. She don't seem to have to stay up on 110 Ben Hill Road in a trailer, right? She don't have to stay up there in a trailer because she just doesn't make enough month to month to really live on and support all of her habits as as she was doing before Summer came up missing. And I find that quite, weird. Where does this money come from? Where did all this money come from that these people are spending? Because I don't think anyone was cash apping or supporting Grandis, right? Nobody was supporting Grandis, any way, form, or how. But yet she gets a brand new car. Where the hell did that money come from? That's kind of weird. And why did she get rid of the vehicle she had before? What was the purpose of renting that vehicle that she had before? Was she afraid she look in the mirror, see Summer on milk jugs? Was there, did something go down in that vehicle that she just couldn't, she couldn't continue to live with? So she needed to get rid of it. Just, get rid of it. Can't look at it or whatever, or ride it or feel comfortable in it. Good possibility. I don't know. Yeah, but I sure appreciate the support for the channel, and you're a good person. You're a very good person, Najab. You keep the beautiful mind you have. Keep the beautiful mind you have, because you want to make provisions. You want to make provisions for people, and it shows you got a really good heart and a really good mind. Stay that way. There, a lot of people lose it. A lot of people lose that, because of people like the Wells and Grandis and so forth and so on. A lot of people lose it, and I hope you don't. Because it's really a gift. It's a beautiful gift of purity from within, and I hope you don't ever lose that. Molly, her looks matches her personality, dry as a biscuit. I don't know who you all are talking about. Grandis? I have a secret I want to tell everyone. I was Grandis' sugar mama. I was supporting her. And just joking. Molly, you are a trip. You are so funny. And that's true, Starbucks. That's very true. It could be. I don't put nothing past these people. From my understandings, Rose's car was parked at some place that Grandis went by every single day to go to work. Rose's car was right there. Every single day her way to work, that car was parked there. And she didn't notice her daughter's car. That's kind of suspicious. And also, Grandis supposedly, I don't know, allegedly gave the law enforcement the wrong license plate number to that vehicle, to her daughter's vehicle. Why would she do that? That's a red flag too, right? I mean, why would you give law enforcement the wrong tag number to your daughter's car? I don't know. I mean, there was some shady things in Rose's case as well. A lot of shady things in Rose's case. And we know we can't trust Candace or Grandis, right? We can't trust either one of these women. Allie comes up there with a boyfriend, right? With Jose. She wants Candace to keep Jose for her so she can be there seeing him. And Jose goes up there to stay there. And, Candace and Grandis are both coming on to this man, right? They're both coming on to knowing is Allie, this is their friend. This is their bestest friend, right? This is their bestie. Allie's supposed to be Candace and Grandis's bestie. And yet they're coming on to her man. The man that, they both know belongs to her. Right? So, I mean, with friends like that, you don't need no enemies. Right? You don't need no enemies when you got friends like that. That's horrible. That's horrible. It's bad enough. It's bad enough to have your man tooken. It's bad enough to have your man took by someone you don't know, right? But usually it's someone you do. Every time, it's someone you knew, right? Someone you've seen hanging around, right? Hanging around your house, hanging around. You knew them. Or even if you didn't know them, you had seen them, right? You had seen them in different places. You knew of them. You may not have known them personally, but you knew of them, right? That's pretty, pretty crazy, right? It's pretty crazy. It ain't too often that, you lose your man to someone you don't know. Hey, crimes have consequences. Good to see you, hon. Good to see you. God bless. Yeah, but exactly. I don't think Rose would have left her children. I really do not think. I do not think Rose is still with us. Absolutely not. I think Rose's case was not solved because there was like Summers, there was too much misinformation handed out at the beginning to mess it up. I mean, criminals really know how to pass out misinformation to totally destroy a case. They really do know how to do that, right? They know how to give out misinformation. Absolutely. But I'm going to let you guys finish listening to why Donald no longer has a job.
No, I don't lie. I don't lie, motherfucker.
I'm not sure why Candace thinks it's so funny. I can play it for you if you want to hear it.
Because my boss called me, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, look, Josh.
Okay.
You can cough or you can suck a dick or whatever you want to do.
All right.
Whatever the fuck it is you do, you little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Doesn't he have a filthy mouth? Doesn't he have? He's got a very these are the two people right there that had four children in the midst of them, right? 4 vulnerable children in the midst of them. I'm going to tell you, these people right here should not even have an animal in the midst of them, let alone children. Listen to his mouth. That is so ungodly, right? So ungodly. He wants to speak of God and how he's getting with God. And I'm going to tell you, that guy's so far away from God, you can't get no farther, right? You couldn't get no farther than Don Wells is away from God. You can't get no farther. This guy is delusional. He's delusional when he talks about religion.
But my boss called me the other day. Man. Yes.
Okay.
Richard,
Oh.
he called me. I said that I sold somebody a tape, right? I sold some motherfucker a tape for $5,000 that showed him having sex with my daughter, right? And then I sold, and he was.
He says that his boss calls him, says he sold a tape for $5,000, showing his boss. And he said, that's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. He said with his own daughter, with his daughter. Who the hell could talk about their child this way? And if there was a tape, then what does that say about Candace and Don Wells? If there truly was a tape that was sold off for $5,000, what does that say about these two sitting up here on the screen? Because you know what? One of them had to film it, the other one knew, right? So what does it say about them? What does it say about them? They think that would look bad on his boss. No, that looks bad on them. As you said, Donald, that was your daughter. That was your daughter that you're talking about. And you and Candace are laughing. You're laughing while you're talking about doing something so sinister and allowing someone to do something so sinister as you recorded it, as you videoed it to your daughter. This says a lot more about you and your old lady than it ever will about anyone else. They're sick-minded, you guys. These people are sick-minded.
Crying. This motherfucker was actually crying. This motherfucker is like a big shot of this community. Like, oh, holy fuck. And he was crying. He said, but they're calling me a child molester. And I'm like, I started laughing.
He started laughing. He thought that, and Candace laughing, right? If that don't make you sick, folks, to hear, nothing will. And that's why he has no longer got a job, right? That's why he no longer has a job. It's because he is a sick, evil, disgusting human being, right? And Candace is just as disgusting as he is. Just as evil as he is, you guys. They're both. God have mercy. Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. The words we just heard, unbelievable. That's right, twisted. They are twisted. Absolutely. Don Wells is totally and utterly pissed off at his boss because his boss told law enforcement would not lie for him. His boss told law enforcement that Don Wells was missing from work that day, went somewhere and did not come back for quite a long time. He was missing. He would not lie for him. And Don got upset. And law enforcement questioned Donald, where were you? Donald couldn't really tell law enforcement where he was. He couldn't really, he tried to say at some dollar store or something. He couldn't remember where he went for lunch. But you know what? He went to the same place every damn day. Every damn day. he went to the same place, right? And he always went around 10, about 10, between 10 and 11 o'clock. Every day he went to the same restaurant around 10, between 10 and 11 o'clock. He ordered the same stuff every single day, the same stuff. Nothing changed up, nothing. It was always the same. And then around between 2:30 and 3:30, he would run to a little store and get himself something to drink or some extra cigarettes or whatever, maybe a candy bar, I don't know. But he would go to a little store and he would get something, and it was like only 5 minutes altogether, going to that store and going back to work wasn't even 25 minutes to get there and get back to work. He wouldn't even have been gone a full half an hour. And he did this every single day too. It was regiment. Don Wells was on a regiment, right? Every single day. Same places. Same stuff. So where he disappeared to on June the 15th, 2021 for about 2 to 2.5 hours, nobody knows. Nobody knows where he went, but he was gone. He was gone for an substantial amount of time that he normally wasn't ever gone. And his boss informed law enforcement upon it. His boss also informed law enforcement that he had gotten insight that Don Wells, was the one indeed doing a bunch of sinister, weird things, saying that, his co-worker was doing it, lying, making people think bad of other people, when indeed it was him doing things himself to get other people in trouble. He was a very sinister human being, and it took his boss a while to figure out exactly what type of human Don Wells truly was. Because his boss was busy running a company, not taking notes to people's mental issues, right? He wasn't sitting around trying to figure out who had the real mental issues. He was busy running a company. And when all of this came down and came out, he started to, his eyes started to open, and he started to see a lot of things that he wasn't able to really see before when it came to Donald Wells. And he didn't like what he saw. And he told Donald, when Donald came at him because he talked to law enforcement and did not lie for Donald, he said, "Look, you're fired. Don't want you around here anymore. Don't need you around here anymore." And then Donald comes out, him and Candace, trying to ruin this man's whole entire, life, right? They're trying to insinuate and put a stigma upon this man of this man being something he totally is not, in order to try to destroy him and to destroy his company. And now Don wants to go back and work for this man? Hell no. This man will not ever take Don Wells back to that company, ever, after, saying what he said about this man. Because, once something's said, you can't take it back. Once something's said, you can't erase it out of people's minds. Here's the thing. Do I think Don Wells is lying on this man? Absolutely. Absolutely, I do. Would I trust this man around myself or my children after Don Wells has said this? Absolutely not. What I'm saying, whether it be truth or lie, it's damage to this man now. Don Wells has done damage to this man that did not deserve that damage done to him. Once you plant a seed, in someone's mind, it's done, right? It's done. Let it be truth or not, it's done. The seed has been planted. That's what I'm trying to say. And this man really, if this man, personally, I would have took this clipping of what Donald Wells said, and I would have probably got an attorney, right? I'd have got an attorney, and I'd have done all I could to make Don Wells, have to pay for the damage that he did to my reputation. This man owns a company, and a very respectable company, that that's his livelihood. That's that gentleman's livelihood. And Don Wells has really put a dent in it. He's really put some damage on it by what he has come out and said, right, about this particular man. So, would I, if I was remodeling a home, would I want, this particular man coming into my home, writing up an estimate to do some work? No, I'm sorry, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want him to come into my home. I wouldn't want him seeing my children, right? I wouldn't want, I mean, even though I don't think it's true what Don said, I still would not want this man. I would not trust this man anymore. I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I mean, if it was a new build home, I don't know if I would even trust that. I don't know. I mean, did they put cameras in it? Did they put, cameras in there? Once I move in, is my children's bedroom safe? Right? Is my kids' rooms going to be safe? Is there going to be, are we going to be watched as we walk around? I don't know. Right? I don't know. Don Wells has done a lot of damage to this man's reputation. Absolutely. A lot of damage by what he has come out and said. But I wonder why law enforcement hasn't done something about this. I don't know. The jab, I appreciate that. God bless. I don't know what happened that day. Not saying who's guilty or innocent, but I became close to Grandis, and she is totally opposite of Candace. Meld me craft, not saying, not involved, to act different just for, I understand. Exactly. Right. You said that you talked to Grandis, the jab. You said that you became close to Grandis, and she's totally the opposite of Candace. I didn't find her that way. I did not find Grandis opposite. I talked to both of them too, and I didn't find Grandis to be opposite from Candace. Matter of fact, I found her to be just as manipulating as Candace was. Grandis tries to act real nice, and she does try to polish it up better, not act nicer to people, like, where Candace is, you know, Candace is one of them people that try to act hard, right? She tries to act a little hard and not so likable. Um, but Grandis is, she could smooth. She puts the icing on the cake um, a little better, than Candace. But I found both of them. Both of them are manipulating as hell. Candace and Grandis. Candace just goes about it in a different way. She goes about it in a different way than Grandis does. Candace is more like the Sour Patch Kid, right? She's a Sour Patch Kid. She gets those mood swings, where 1 minute you can't stand her, the next minute you're feeling sorry for her, kind of thing. And and Grandis is more, she's more of a snake. She is, what I'm saying is, Candace is the type of snake to watch, right? To watch it. Grandis, on the other hand, she's one that you think you could trust. Find out you can't. For sure. So that's what I found with them. But when you were close to her, I'd like to ask, did she tell you about taking the nap? Did she tell you that Candace took Summer off that day to meet up with Donald? Or did you guys even talk? Or did she, or was she even willing to talk about the case at all? I don't know. She might not have, been willing to even talk about the case. I don't know. Good night, Blue-Eyed Dumpling. Good night. God bless, hon. God bless. Good to have you in here tonight. Yeah, exactly, Sassy Friends. Ziggy V, I believe Ziggy did talk to Grandis. I don't know about, the feds coming in and all this stuff, but I do believe Grandis talked to her. And I know she talked to Emma. Emma had all the receipts, right? She had all the receipts from Grandma. Absolutely. So I know that she talked to Emma. That's the one she was really sweet on. She's really sweet on that Emma. Oh, that's so sweet. Amazing, beautiful sunflower. You're so sweet, Colt 45. God bless. I don't know. I think whatever went down, Grandma knows. Absolutely. Absolutely, Grandma knows. No doubt that Grandma doesn't know. No doubt at all, in my mind, that Grandma doesn't know. You know, we heard Hunter last night. We heard Hunter last night talking about TVs being in Grandis's vehicle, right? Here's the TV, Summer's bedroom right here. This is the TV in Summer's bedroom. And that's the TV. This is the TV that was found up in the loft across the road where someone had been staying, right? This is the TV that was up in the loft over at Andy's, on Andy's property. And look at the base. Look at the base of this TV. It seems that both of these TVs are the same brand. It seems like they have the same base, the same style. As you can see, the base is right there. There's the base of the TV. And there's the base of the TV. It looks like the same TV, y'all. I don't know, but it looks like the same TV. It definitely looks like the TV that was down in Summer's room. Could Summer have been staying up in this loft right here? Could they have been keeping her up there? I don't know. Right? I have no idea. Yeah, that's weird. That is weird. Absolutely, that is weird. As you see, same stand on both these TVs, and they seem to be the same exact brand. I say made somewhere in the 90s. I'd say this is like a 90s TV. With this, considering the stand on it and everything, it looks like the 90s models, maybe, early 2000s, but 90s to me. I just find that odd. And then, we also have, this shack with the hole up in it. And, this is something, this is really creepy. And as you can see there, looks like some kind of cot. Or like little cot right here, like a chow size cot, piece of foam or something to lay on. I don't know. This is really weird. Really, really weird. I have no idea. This place is a wreck, but it would be a perfect place, to keep someone. And up in this attic right here, I'm telling you, the bowls. What bothers me is these canisters are not big enough portions. These canisters that looks like someone's been eating out of would not be big enough portions of food for a grown-up. These are chow-sized portions, more like pudding cup size, right? More like pudding cup size dishes. More for a child. More for a child's food, if you ask me. I still got to wonder what was in that box. It seemed like when we caught on to this right here and that box, Andy no longer wanted anyone around there, right? I think Andy forgot to remove some things. I think Andy forgot to get rid of some things before Latin, I think he forgot about, I think he didn't think they were going to really even look there, right? They weren't even going to look there. I don't think he thought it. He wasn't thinking ahead. And I think once this was seen is why no one's coming back, if you ask me. That's what I think. I think that, when this got called out right here and people caught on to the chow size containers, right? And the stove to bring heat. Actually, there was two, right? Two grills to keep heat. A TV set that looks like it came from Summer's bedroom. Something ain't right here, right? Something ain't right here. I don't think search dogs ever was on this land. I don't think search dogs was ever brought on to Andy's land. Matter of fact, early on, Jody Sue and Andy and them were refusing to let law enforcement check their property, right? I understood, to my understandings, his mother, and it was Andy's mother, refused to let that property be searched because it wasn't Andy's and Jody Sue's property. It was Andy's parents' property. And to my understandings, they refused to allow it to be searched. I mean, they're trying to say now that, that they allowed it. But at that time, no. At that time, they were not allowing it. I remember their land not being allowed to be searched. I remember that. So, who knows? But I know, only thing I do know is Andy don't want no one back on this property now, right? And I think this is why. I think that right there is why. Busted, right? Busted. Somebody's been staying there. Someone has been staying there. Absolutely. Who, I don't know. But, Andy plainly stated, Brian tried to act like, it was all PG's fault that Andy wasn't going to, let people search there. And Andy plainly, said, no, it's not, not because of me. I asked, right? I asked on my live. How right rude. Here. He said, no. Shame on you. Shame on you, would say Gomer Powell. Right. That wasn't nice, Ryan. That wasn't nice. Now, Andy said no. No. It was, wasn't PG, wasn't me that caused Brian not to be able, allowed to come back upon that property. He tried to say that he wasn't going to let nobody search a hill because of me. Right? He wasn't going to let somebody search a hill. Well, I don't think nobody would want to, right? I don't think nobody would want to search the hill because I'm feeling like the answers could be right there. I think law enforcement, if I seen this, I think if I was law enforcement, I would be in there looking that over, right? I would be in there looking that over. Just saying. Who's staying up there? We've got a missing child. We need to know who was staying up in there, right? That's important. I mean, if law enforcement doesn't feel that it's important to know who's staying up in that hole, then they're not doing their job, right? They're not doing their job. We got a missing kid. We need to know who's been staying up in that hole. That's all I'm saying. They need to check it out. Right? Ronnie and Pruitt need to get that looked into. And if they don't, I'm sure TBI will. I'm sure TBI will. I'm sure this has been reported. Right? I'm sure it's been reported. Maybe that's why Andy, Andy also cleaned that stuff out of there, right? I mean, he was taking the evidence away as he was talking to Ryan. He was taking that evidence away, right when he was talking. He was taking it away right there on video, right? He was taking it away right there on video. So, had to be something. Had to be something weird, you guys. Had to be something really weird. If he was trying to destroy the evidence as he's speaking to these guys, right? Gotta wonder about that. That's a red flag. Red flag. Do I hold a lot of stock in Ryan? No. I don't. I don't hold a lot of stock in Ryan. I liked Ryan because, he was, taking the time to go to some of the places, that Summer had, previously been, and he, and so forth. But then it started looking like they were doing some stagery, right? With the twisted tea can, and they ain't no can going to be that clean. No can's going to be that clean that's been laying out there for days. No way in hell. I just didn't like the way it started looking like some staging, and I understand that, YouTube, the true crime community, I understand that, this is for, this is supposed to be entertainment purposes and so forth and so on. But, okay. But I don't get entertained when it's a community for missing children. When it's a community gathered together for missing kids, I don't get entertained by BS, right? I don't get entertained by BS. I don't get entertained by lies. Lies don't entertain me because these children need to be found. They need people being honest. They need people. There's enough shady people in this case already. We don't need any more shady people in Summer's case. Summer needs people that ain't shady working for her. She needs people that ain't shady working for her and telling the truth on her behalf and trying to do everything they can to really get her found, brought home, and justice served, right? This ain't a game, you guys. This ain't a game. And I just feel that it shouldn't be for entertainment purposes, because we're talking about missing children here, and that's freaking heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking. These kids really depend on us. They really need us, right? They really need us, and they need us to do everything righteously for them. And I don't, I don't care for people. What I'm saying is, sure, entertainment is okay. It's okay, because you need a laugh once in a while. You need a laugh once in a while, out here in the YouTube streets, right? Because things can get pretty serious. They can get pretty serious, you guys. And it can get pretty, mind-boggling doing all this stuff, all the time, right? And I understand that, once in a while things need to be lightened up a little bit, maybe, something a little funny, to take, the pressure off of doing what we do. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. But there is no room. There's no room for lies. There's no room to throw twisted tea cans where, for entertainment purposes. You can't do that. Right? You can't do that. You can't, have people, you can't call law enforcement out to, you can't look here. Let me explain things to you guys. Here's the rock. Okay, here's the rock. Right there. Right there's the rock, you guys. And this rock right here, to my understanding, I don't know, but to my understanding, this rock went to visit. This rock was on its way. You're seeing it right now. It was on its way to visit Ryan, right? It was on its way to visit Ryan, to my understanding. And I guess it got to visit up with Ryan, this rock. It finally met up with Ryan. And the rock told Ryan, look, I came to visit because one, I wanted to say hello to you. And two, I wanted to ask you to leave my family alone, right? You need to leave my family alone. This rock wants Ryan to leave his family alone. Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard it went to talk to him because, the rock found out that Ryan had called in a bunch of people to, dig up his family, right? To dig up his family. This rock told about it. It was, and that rock thought it's pretty funny. Said, did you hear about Ryan, calling in all these people to, dig up your family? Here's the poor rock's family. Look at this. See? They're thirsty. The top rock is thirsty because they had to pull him out of the water, right? They pulled him out of the water, and the poor little rock's tongue's hanging out because it's thirsty. So, the rock wanted to let Ryan know to leave his family alone. Right? That's what he did. Now, I don't know. I wasn't there. But I heard he went and, dug up a rock family. That's so sad. That was so sad. And then the next thing I hear on the YouTube streets was he sent Ziggy and Fred a gift. I said, what? Man, that was nice of him. He sent Fred and Ziggy a gift. They're like, yeah, PG. He sent Fred and Ziggy a gift. I said, really? What did he send them? A big rock in a box. Right? There you go. There's the gift. That's their wedding gift from Ryan, right? A big rock in a box. There you guys go. I hope they'd enjoyed that gift, right? I hope they enjoyed that gift. And Brian sends rocks in a box to all the people, getting married. You get married, you'll get a rock in a box, right? That's what PG heard. I don't know how true it is, but I heard it. Sometimes people just don't lie. I don't know. I'm going to tell you, he hasn't, he said he was going to Florida to look for summer. Really? No, you were going to Florida to vacation. That's what you were going to Florida for. You was going there to vacation. I don't know. I don't know, some crazy stuff, y'all. Some crazy stuff, right? I just bring it to you. I just bring it to you as, as I hear it. Best I can do. Right? Is bring it. Oh, there's Ziggy. There's Ziggy. Hey Ziggy. There's your gift from Ryan. The rock in the box. He said he wanted to. That's your wedding gift, man. Look at that light shining down on it. Look at that light shine down that good old rock in a box. Cracks me up. Oh shoot. Right? It cracked me up, man. I take a picture of it. Right there. Right there's the picture of it, y'all. That's the picture. Go ahead. You guys want a souvenir? Just snap a picture. There it is. There it is. That's it. That's his wedding gift. Right. That's his good old wedding gift. Oh Lord. Yeah, he went to Florida to get that rock too. Yeah, he went down to Florida, right? That rock came from Disney. That's a Disney rock. That's a Disney rock, right? Absolutely. Don didn't know if his name was. I think Don knew his name. He hadn't even met no Lawsons when he was 5 years old. He was still living up in Utah. Molly, you're silly. Andy and Ryan have been spending most of their time on Phil's Road. Yeah. Ryan said what him and Andy are doing on that road is really touchy. Yeah, I bet it is. And he's going to have to hold off on letting the film. I bet he would. God. You're hilarious. That's a good one. I love it. I love it. Absolutely. If he dropped it, would it be rock and roll? Yeah, I bet it would. Exactly. Yeah, from my understandings, I don't know, but to my understandings, he had a bunch of people out there, digging some rocks out of a creek. Right? He had them down in the water, getting them out of there. That's so sad. It's so sad. It's definitely sad. It's definitely sad about the one on top right there. Look, it wants to go back in the water. That poor little thing's thirsty. Right? That poor little thing is thirsty. It wants to go home. It wants to go back in that water. Oh goodness. I'm going to tell you some of the things people would do, right? Some of the things people would do. I'd be afraid. I would be afraid to do what he did. I'd be afraid because when you waste taxpayers' money, right? If you waste taxpayers, sometimes they'll make, they'll fine you. they'll find you, make you pay it back. You better be careful. You better you better know what you're talking about before you start making the wrong phone calls, right? Or the right ones. I don't know. Yeah, it looks dehydrated. Exactly. I agree. I agree. Hey, Carrie, absolutely. We're just going to have to keep praying. We're going to have to keep praying, right? We got to pray that somebody's heart is lightened up. We got to pray that, that God lightens somebody's heart somewhere in this case, to help this little girl be found and brought home. Um, you know, I've been getting some emails. I'm gonna bring them out. I'm gonna bring them out. Probably, God willing, Saturday night. Because I'm off tomorrow night. I don't come in. It's the 7th. It's the 7th from Friday evening to Saturday evening, right? It starts tomorrow evening, sundown, and it runs until sundown Saturday. And I observe the 7th. I try to keep the 7th holy, and I try to do what the Bible tells us to do. It tells us to take the time off, and just know who is above you, right? To know who's above you. We're supposed to not be doing no work on the 7th. We're supposed to be enjoying our families, and and we're supposed to cook. We're supposed to cook today and tomorrow morning. All the food that's going to be prepared for Friday evening and Saturday, and we're supposed to observe the 7th, keep it holy. God tells us it's a day of rest, right? It's a day of rest, and we need to be resting. We need to rest, read our Bibles, get our houses in order, and just it's a commandment. It's a commandment. It says plainly to keep the 7th day holy. God is resting, and we're supposed to rest too. Now, if it's something important, then God understands, right? He understands. Jesus healed on the 7th, right? He healed on the 7th. He didn't tell the person to wait. He healed them because it was important. And God knows sometimes things are important. You got to do important things. But if it ain't important, then you should be taking time to rest and do God's will, because and do things His way, because His way is the right way, not ours. He has reasoning. And you should rest on the 7th, right? You need to rest on this, because if God's resting, you want everything to go well with you. You might want to be resting on that day too. And it is nice. Because, it gives you time to, meditate on other things. It gives you time to kind of wind down and and enjoy a little bit of life. Enjoy a little bit of life. Take a break. Is good. So, I do observe the 7th, and like I said, I try to keep it holy. I will be back on Saturday evening. I take note that, I don't come in on Fridays, and usually that's when I hear a lot of, the people that like to come at PG sideways. Boy, they pick Friday to do it, right? They pick Friday to do it like I'm not going to be here come Saturday or something, right? I don't understand it, but they like to pick Friday to do it. I am going to do tell that a certain creator, wanted to have a little rendezvous. Oh, that particular creator, meaning PG, that particular creator always be mentioning me. Don't flatter yourself. Don't flatter yourself. No, I don't be mentioning you. I don't be mentioning you. Matter of fact, the night in question that you were talking about, it wasn't me that mentioned you at all. It was someone up on panel. It was someone else on the panel that mentioned you. PG didn't mention you. So don't flatter yourself. Absolutely not. I mean, no. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. Hasn't happened in quite a while. Matter of fact, I've been coming in here and pretty much addressing whatever cases I'm talking about, and diligently doing what needs to be done, right? And that particular creator, I haven't mentioned in a long time, right? I haven't mentioned in a while. Because I just don't mention people who, I don't mention people who take everything serious, right? I don't mention people who, seem to have a hair up their backside all the time. Why would I want to mention that, right? Why would I want to mention that? That's insane. That's insane. But no. And then it's like, oh, I report. I really don't care. I really don't care. This is America. This is America. The land of the free, the home of the brave, freedom of speech, baby. And, and we truly believe in it. That's a right. Well, first of all, God-given right. But second of all, it's a right that was wrote in the Declarations of Independence, right? Go read the Constitution. Go read the Declaration of Independence. Come on. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. It's a right. And I'm going to exercise the crap up out of it, right? I'm not going, hey, Blue Solo Cup, I fill you up, Blue Solo Cup. And your device is not connected. Your device is not connected, hon. Sorry about that, but your device isn't connected. I would love to bring you up. Love to hear from you. Hope you're doing good, sweetie. I hope you're doing good. But yeah. Yeah, I went off on the Blue Solo Cup song, right? I usually buy the red ones, right? So my song would have to be my red Solo Cup. I fill you up, right? At the party. Yeah, that's more my song. I just think the red ones are prettier, right? I just think the red ones are prettier. I like the spring cups too, right? They got the ones that look all springy, right? Man, you don't get as many, but I get them because I love the looks of them, right? I mean, sometimes you just, like the famous poet said, right? I wish I had a loaf of bread. I'd sell half of it and buy myself some flowers to feed my soul, right? That's beautiful. Sometimes you just have to buy stuff to feed your soul, right? It's beautiful, it's pretty, and you You just get that I don't know, that good feeling just seeing it, right? I love spring. I love spring. I love all the flowers. I love, all the colors of spring. Um, I'm a springy person, right? I love spring. I love throwing the doors back, the windows open, and telling old man winter, you know, to get gone, right? To get gone. Don't come back, Ain't gonna miss you. I ain't gonna miss you. Yeah. I don't like winter. But I also don't like, when it gets super. I don't like August. I don't like August either. August, man, I'm gonna tell you, that is a month. Whoa, I'm one of those people. I love, swimming. I love laying out. Right, I love the sun. But August, oh my gosh, you know, that's insane, right? That's insane. I don't know if any of you guys have ever, been packing a little one in August, right? But the heat is awful in August, right? Especially if you're about to become a mother in August. It can be bad. It can be real bad. Oh yeah, I bet that was. I'm gonna tell you, girl, I've been working in my garden too. I've been working in my garden. I love planting flowers. I absolutely do. You know, I don't like to plant the ones that don't come back every year. I don't like to plant. I do plant them because they're so freaking beautiful, right? But I hate the fact that next year you have to buy them again. You have to buy them all again because they just ain't going to survive the winter, right? They're not going to survive. And that's sad. That's sad. But most of my garden is, most of my garden is all plants that will survive. They'll survive till next year and the year at. I like to buy the ones that keep coming back, keep coming back. That's the beautiful thing. How many of you guys plant tulips? How many of you plant tulips? Oh, tulips are so beautiful. They don't last long, but man, they're they're beautiful while they do. They're beautiful while they do. Hey, there's Blue Solo Cup. How you doing, sweetie? How you
Hey,
doing?
how you doing? I ain't that drunk tonight. I've only drunk like 12 beers. Sorry. Hey, how you doing? I ain't that drunk
Well, you shouldn't be a drinking any.
tonight.
You
I've only
need to
drunk like
straighten
12
it up.
beers. Sorry.
But you look good. You look good.
Yes. How you doing, Prayer Garden?
I'm doing good. How about you, sweetie?
I can't hear you.
I said, how are you doing? How are you doing?
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? There must be something wrong with your volume. I see if I can. Hold on. Let me see. Mm, no. I can't help you. Can you hear me? And now I can't hear you. Now I cannot hear you. You've got a bad connection. You're going to have to go down, try to come back up. I can't hear you. Yeah, you're going to have to go out and come back in. Wait a minute. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. You muted yourself. You put yourself on mute. I see it. You got yourself on mute. Unmute yourself. You should have a thing that says mute, start cam. You got to click the mute. You muted yourself. Now I can't hear you because you're mute. I can't unmute you. If you mute yourself, I cannot unmute you. No, I can't do it. No, you hit the camera. You need to hit the mute button. Unmute you.
Okay, how's that?
There you go. There you go. You're back. You're back.
How's that?
That's good. That's good. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? You're back.
Okie dokie. Let me turn my dang on TV off.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Okie dokie. Let me turn my dang on TV off. Okie dokie. I turned it off. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself, sweetie?
Hey, Prayer Garden.
What? I can't hear you again. You muted yourself. Oh, shoot. You know what? There's a phone number in the chat if you want to call in. If that would work out better for you, you could always call, right? Yeah, I appreciate you joining the panel. He's muted himself. He muted himself again. He's just up there, right? And
Prayer Garden,
now,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me, Prayer Garden?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Okie dokie. Yes, I
So-
can, but I got an echo. I think off my stupid TV.
Yeah, because you turned your TV on.
Let me try to turn off my TV.
Okay.
Hey, Prayer Garden, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? There's something wrong with your sound. Because you can only hear me when you're playing me on the TV. You got a bad connection. There's something wrong with the sound. Maybe he can come back. Maybe take the link and try it again. Right? We got a bad connection there. We got a bad connection. But yeah, you guys, I really think that something was up. I really think something was up with all of this. I really do. I think something was up here. You know, somebody was definitely staying. Someone was definitely staying up in here. The TVs, it's amazing how much these two TVs look alike, right? It's amazing how much these two TVs look alike. And that the one found up, and then this one. It looks like this one is this one. I don't know. You know, I don't know. But, you know, I wanted to bring it to your guys' attention, right? I wanted to bring that to your attention. I really think that, you know, this is why Andy didn't want no one back up there. I think this right here is why Andy didn't want anyone up there. Right here. This right here. You know, I I think this is it. Because, you know, it's like busted. Someone was staying up here. Someone has been up here. And, you know, and I think that it's worth being looked into by law enforcement. I think it is worthy of being looked into by law enforcement, if you ask me. I definitely do. So, you know, absolutely. And as far as, you know, WB talking about Don losing his job because of, you know, because of anyone out here in this community is not truth. We know why Don lost his job. We understand why he lost it. It had nothing to do with anyone out here in this community whatsoever. I know for a fact that he did not, and it is a fact that he did not lose his job over any YouTubers. That is the truth. That is the truth. You know, and anyone saying differently, they're lying. They're absolutely lying. So that's what I came in here tonight. I came in here tonight because, you know, there's a great concern. We got a missing child, you know, and this right here is a big red flag, right? It's a big red flag. And as you see, he's removing it. He's removing it as Ryan watches. I mean, I would think Ryan would have turned that in, right? I would think that he would have turned that in, what he found, to TBI or to someone. You know, I mean, there's something shady about all of that. You know, is he really out? Is he really out to help Summer or not? Right? Or not? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But you know, I also don't mess with the woo-woo stuff, right? I don't mess with none of the woo-woo stuff. When, you know, I'm kind of upset that Ryan came out here and portrayed himself to be a Christian, right? Christian, him and his wife being Christians, believing in God Almighty and following the righteous path, right? And you know, and then we found out, you know, little by little, we found out that it wasn't that way at all, right? It wasn't that way at all. His wife was into that woo-woo stuff, right? That weird stuff. And, you know, we don't allow that on this channel. We do not allow woo-woo stuff here, right? We don't do it. We don't mess with that. And it just is what it is, you guys. It is what it is. You know, I do believe in God Almighty. And I believe in Jesus Christ. And I do truly love and worship my God and his son. And I'm very grateful for all they do for me. Right? And I thank God for the Holy Spirit. I thank God for the Holy Spirit that, you know, has been left here to keep us, you know, on the straight and the narrow path. And I'm not going to defy my God. I'm not going to defy my God. My Bible says to not have anything to do with the woo-woo stuff, right? Do not have anything to do with this. And I ain't having nothing to do with it. And I don't like people, you know, I don't like people gaslighting me and acting, you know, I don't like people who use God to get their foot in the door. I don't like it. And that's what he did. That's what he did. And they knew they was into woo-woo stuff before, right? Before they did that, they knew they was in woo-woo stuff. I wouldn't even let them on this channel had I knew they was doing woo-woo stuff. Wouldn't even been on this channel, folks. And that's the truth. Just saying. Just saying. I don't do that kind of stuff. So, you know, I feel I was lied to. I feel I was betrayed and lied to, and I didn't like that. I can't ask for a favor, can I, PG? What would that be, sweetie? What would that be? You know, how can anyone pray to God, right? How can anyone pray to God that these children are found? Right? How can you pray to God that these kids are found, brought home, and justice is served? How can I humbly, right, pray to my God for these children if I'm not doing my God's will? How, if I'm not staying away from the things he tells me to stay away from? How can I do that? Right? I mean, I know that I got deceived, right? I know I got deceived. Absolutely. And and that was shame on Ryan. That was shame on them. There will not be no shame on me, because I'm not going to have them back over here. I'm not having them back here because I don't mess with woo-woo. Just saying, I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm not afraid of woo-woo stuff. I'm not afraid of woo-woo stuff. I want, first of all, I am not afraid of that stuff. I'm afraid of my God. I'm afraid of God Almighty. That's who I fear. Not the woo-woo stuff. I fear God. I fear God being angry or upset with me because I allow people who, have a hand in that stuff to come around here. And they shouldn't. They shouldn't. I'm just saying, I rebuke the devil. I rebuke him and all, and all of his followers. Anyone that has anything to do, with weird, sinister stuff can stay away from PG. Stay away from Summer's channel, right? I rebuke people like that. I don't want any type of sinisterness here. None. What I want here is the one who put this channel together for Summer, and that's God Almighty himself. And that's who I trust. That's who I trust to find Summer, because that's who actually knows where Summer is. God knows where Summer is. And when he wants her found, she will be. And until then, I will keep praying for her. I will continue to pray. And I will continue to ask for her to be found. And on God's time, she will. On God's time, she will. And I truly believe that. I truly believe that. Absolutely. Right? That's right. Absolutely not, Diamond Eyes. Absolutely not. We don't deal with that here. We don't, we don't mess with that kind of stuff. That stuff needs to stay in its own corners, right? Stay in its own corners. The hell away from us. That's what I got to say. Over here, we seek the truth, we tell the truth, we want the truth, and we know we need the truth, because the truth is all that's going to bring these children home. It's the only thing that's going to allow us to know what happened. It's the only thing that's going to find them, the only thing that's going to solve their case. The only thing that's going to get justice is the truth. You got to have the truth. You got to keep praying that someone tells the truth for the sake of these children. Someone that knows, that has insight on where these children are, what happened. We got to pray that someone decides to tell that truth, right? Lies ain't going to find Summer. Lies ain't going to bring her home. Lies ain't going to get her justice. Lies ain't going to do anything, right? We've heard enough of them, and it hasn't done a thing. The truth. The truth is what we have to find. The truth is what we have to keep seeking in order to solve these cases. It's the truth. And I pray to someone. I pray to God someone tells that truth. I pray to God that one of these people in Summer's case, that just one of them, just one, will want to save their soul and tell that truth for Summer's sake, for her brother's sake, right? Just one. That's all it takes. Just one. In the same way with Sebastian. Just one. Just one. And Michael Vaughn. Just one. Just one. And it's all it takes. And I pray that one steps forward and does what's right for these children. Absolutely. I pray that. I pray it all the time in the name of Jesus, right? I pray it all the time. I pray it every single time we're here, I pray. And I pray when we're not here. Because I know the power in prayer. I know the power in prayer. If we really pray, God is going to answer. God's going to answer. That's my faith. Right? That's my faith. Why? Because I know God answers prayers. I know He does. He's answered a lot of PGs, a lot of yours, a lot of everyone else's, right? God has answered our prayers many times. We know He answers prayers. So let us continue to pray. Let us pray with the same faith. The same faith as we did before. Let us pray with that faith and know that He's going to let these kids be found, brought home, and justice served. And if we truly believe, He will. If we truly, truly believe, He will. In the name of Jesus. Amen. So please keep the prayers going up for these kids, you guys. Keep them going up. And keep them going up for one another. Family that prays together stays together. Remember that. And I'm going to tell you, God don't need us, but we sure need Him. He doesn't need a one of us, but we need Him. We rely on God. We rely on God 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Why? Because He's the one giving you the breath of life. It's His air we're breathing. It is God's air that we're breathing. Right? He ain't breathing our air. We're breathing His. And we better be thankful. We better be thankful. Every second of every day, be thankful that He's given us that air. Right? We need to be thankful. And we need to do God's will, not our own. We need to pray for one another. God don't want us constantly just praying for ourselves. I know that it's hard not to. I know it's hard not to. But we got to pray for everyone. I was at church today. I go to church every day. I was at church today. I told God, I don't know what all you guys need, what you want, but please. I pray He answers all of our prayers. Right? I pray He does. I wasn't praying for somebody. I was praying for everybody. If it's okay with God, I pray for everyone. And I pray in the name of Jesus. That's what PG does. I make sure I pray all the time. When I get off of here tonight, When I get off of here tonight, before I go to bed, I'll be praying. I'll be praying. I don't get in heaven. It's probably going to be because God don't want to hear PG's voice no more. I talk to God more than I talk to you. So you can only imagine. You can only imagine how much I talk to God. I talk to God all the time. All the time, you guys. I really do. But I love God. I love God because He loved me first. He loved me first. And I learned, I learned that it's sad. But I learned that, you know what? The only people I need in this life is God and Jesus, the Holy Spirit, the angels who watch over me. I learned that the hard way, right? I learned it the hard way, but I learned it. I learned that's all I need. And every time, I think I can step forward, I have to take 2 steps back. I just had another friend, I had a really good friend, or I thought I did. I'll share this little bit with you guys. I thought I had a really good friend, right? I mean, we had some rough patches. But I let it all go. I assumed they did too, right? And I really liked this person, I really liked him. I did. I thought they was a really good friend, been together for a while. And I thought they was a real good friend. And I heard with me own ears, you guys. This particular person, just recently, I heard with me own ears, this person saying some horrible stuff about PG. Some really horrible stuff. I couldn't believe my own ears. I couldn't believe them. I was like, I didn't even know if I was really hearing this, I didn't know if I was hearing it. But they said some really, really violent things about me. Really poked my heart, right? They poked my heart. They really poked me. Poked me pretty hard. And I said, that's why I only trust in God. God ain't going to do that to me. Right? Jesus is a real friend. God's a real friend. The angels who watch over us, those are real friends. Every time you think you got, you got a real friend, you find out you don't. And it causes you to take 2 steps back. Right? Every time I think I can trust, I find out I can't. Story of my life. And it's actually heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to think we live in a world that, a world where people are so mean, right? So evil. And it shouldn't be like that. Don't apologize. SL. It's honey. Don't apologize. Don't apologize for that person. Don't apologize for them. If you heard the things they said, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. really ugly, really, really ugly. And you know, I really had this person's back. I had this person's back. I've stepped up for him. I stepped up for him. You know, I really did. I stepped up for him. Had their back 150%. It was crushing, right? It's crushing when people do this to you. You know, I mean, I didn't ask God why. It's not like, you know, I didn't ask God why. I mean, I knew better. I knew better. Deep down, I knew better. You know, what I wanted, and what truly was two different things, right? So I can't ask God why. All I could say was, you know, God, I'm sorry that these people are like they are. I'm sorry that this person couldn't be the friend that I was to them. I'm sorry, you know, I'm sorry. And, you know, somewhere, somehow, some way in their life in the future, you know, I hope they can become a friend to someone that they want to be, you know. I hope they can be the friend that they want someone else to be to them, right? You got to be the friend you want. If you really want to have a true friend, you got to be that friend. But they wasn't that friend, you guys. They wasn't that friend. I was upset. Absolutely, I was upset. I talked to Molly. I talked to Molly about it. I talked to Beautiful Sunflower. You know, I talked to Beautiful Sunflower about it. You know, I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand it. I appreciate the people who cared enough about me to record it. You know, to record it and let me hear it. I appreciate them. You know, I really do. As much as I didn't want to hear it, I needed to. I needed to. You know, like I told you guys, it's not easy to face the truth. Even for PG, even for me. I totally understand how hard it is to face the truth. Because even PG don't like to face it sometimes. I didn't want to face it then. I didn't want to face it. When I was hearing it, I was hearing it with my own ears. But I didn't want to face it. Right? So I know. PG knows. I know how hard it is, y'all. I've always known. I've always known. You know, I lied to myself for many years. Many years when I was a child. When I was a child, I thought I would, you know, I would lie to myself. I would lie to myself and believing that, you know, I was with a group of people that, you know, that truly loved me. Even though they abused me so bad, I thought they still had my back, that they still cared. I lied to myself. I had to face the truth, right? At some point, I had to face the truth that these evil people didn't care. They didn't have my back. They were sinister and evil. And they didn't deserve me to be in their life. They didn't deserve someone who loved them so much, cared about them so much, and really did have their back. They didn't deserve me. Right? People like that don't deserve good, kind-hearted people. They don't deserve good people in their life. And best thing I ever did is get those people out of my life. The best thing I ever done was get them out of my life. Because they wish nothing but harm and evil to PG. People like that don't care. They don't care. And I understand fully how women get into abusive relationships because that woman lies to herself. She lies to herself. She tells herself that, this particular person that is abusing her, she lies to herself that he cares, right? That he cares, that everything's going to change, that things will get better, and they don't. They don't. And if these women don't open their eyes, they don't open their eyes to the truth, they'll continue to be abused, maybe even not be with us any longer in this world. It's important. It's important to face the truth. It's very important to face the truth, right? The truth's the only thing that can save us. It's the only thing that can save us and set us on the right path and do all the things that needs to be done. You got to have the truth. It's not something we want. It's something we have to have. It's a need. It's a need. But anyway, I'm not going to hold everybody up any longer. I know it's getting late. I know you guys need to rest. PG needs some rest as well. So please pray for one another. Pray for these missing kids. Just pray. Pray. God loves us. God loves all of us. He loves all of us. Jesus didn't die on that cross for one person. He died on that cross for everyone because God and him love us all. They love us, and the angels, they watch over us. And the Holy Spirit guides us, right? It guides us in the righteous path all the time. So please send them prayers up. Stick with the Lord. Do righteous by people. Do righteous by people. Somebody needs a kind word. Somebody needs a hug. Somebody needs to see the light in your eyes so they can get it in theirs. Be the light. Be the light that this world needs, you guys. That's what I say. Be the light that this world needs. And pray for one another in the name of Jesus. Amen. Good night, everybody. God bless. Much love.